Okay guys, in this video, I'm going to talk about why I believe you shouldn't use the Vignette tool. So, most of the time when you open up your Lightroom mobile, you'll come across the Vignette tool. And it's a very simple tool. It's only got a couple of sliders. So what we'll do, just to show what other sliders appear, you get the normal level of either dark or light. So you've got your dark slider at 45 or your white slider just like that. We'll use the dark one just for these purposes. When you lower or darken using the Vignette tool, it always encroaches on the top of the subject. In this instance, you'll see that there is kind of the darkening on the tail of the robin, also on the head of the robin. Even when you use, like, it's even more so if you use kind of the midpoint to bring it in or move it further out. It does work, it does take some of it away, but it's quite strong. Even if you kind of, let's do it at say 20, then bring the midpoint in, you still see darkening around the eye section. Even if you use roundness slider, still does the same. You could feather it 100%, that works. Then when you bring it in, it still does the same. It darkens the actual subject. What I would suggest, not use the Vignette tool whatsoever. Instead, the best tool to use is the radial gradient, the one that's highlighted in black at the moment. So you tap that, put your finger on the screen, pull out, and give yourself a central point that you want. You could make it any shape, to be honest. You don't have to be locked into a round shape. You could kind of change it to even the shape of the bird if you really want to. We will actually do that in a moment, but we'll start off like this. But what we'll do to create this as a Vignette tool, we will invert the mask. So there you go. If we move this out as if you was going to use it as a Vignette tool, we'll just put it in the center. Now, as you'll see, you've got your usual feathering. Always feather, 100%. Then what I will do, just so it doesn't cause any problem to the bird itself, double tap on the mask on the right hand side underneath the blue plus. Double tap, that's better. Then click subtract from mask and then use select subject. So now this mask won't touch the bird whatsoever. It'll just add a vignette to the background. And now you can have the use of multiple tools. You don't just have 4 sliders, you have a whole selection of tools. So you can just bring the brightness down in the background if you really want to, make it a little bit more vignetted kind of thing, or you can play around and make it into something a lot more by just kind of changing your softness, so less clarity, less texture, bring up the haze to really make the we'll take it towards the minus, say 20. We can change the color, bring that up to a warmer tone. Again, this is something you cannot do when you're using a normal Vignette tool. So you can make it more blue, or you can warm it up. You can add a warmer tint to it, make it a bit warmer there, add a little tiny bit of extra color, maybe even drop it down, but in this case, because we've added some warmth, we'll warm it up a little bit. And then we can play around with highlights, maybe drop the shadows a little bit to bring some definition into the towards the bird a little bit more. And then we can always bring up the blacks or drop the blacks, but it doesn't affect the whole image. It's a lot softer and you can do a lot more with it. You don't have to go overboard. But to me, that looks so much different than using a Vignette tool. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And again, you can always add a new mask and select subject, for instance, and then you can play around with your clarity just of that subject. Very little tiny bit of sharpening. Don't need very much because this is quite a sharp bird anyway. And a little tiny bit of contrast to add. A little tiny bit. And I think that one's done. So this is the before, like that. And this is the subtle change, but it is a lot better than using the Vignette tool. So in my opinion, forget about the Vignette tool. Just use masks. There's so much more you can do with them. You can play around with other settings, and you don't have to go overboard with really dark corners. It just looks more subtle. Thank you for watching. If you like this one, leave a thumbs up, maybe even follow, and I'll see you in the next video.